Welcome to episode 118, Session Authenticity, focused on Control SC-23. Sessions are the living bridge between authentication and action, and their integrity determines whether permissions stay bound to the right person at the right time. A secure session is more than a string. It is a set of guarantees about identity, context, and continuity. When those guarantees weaken, attackers can hijack privileges without touching passwords. The goal is simple to say and demanding to achieve. Keep every active session trustworthy from creation to closure. Do that well, and access remains both smooth for users and stubbornly resistant to abuse. From there, strong tokens with limited lifetimes reduce the window for theft and misuse. Short-lived access tokens paired with refresh tokens balance usability and safety, while signature-based formats allow local verification without constant calls home. Rotating keys for token signing prevents long-term replay across environments if a verifier leaks. Consider an application issuing 15-minute access tokens and hour-long refresh tokens. The short horizon keeps risk contained even if a token escapes. Expiration is not a nuisance. It is a control that turns time into a defense, forcing attackers to hurry and often fail. Next, sessions must resist fixation and replay so that identifiers cannot be preceded or reused by attackers. Fixation occurs when an adversary sets a session identifier before a victim authenticates, then inherits the elevated state afterward. Replay occurs when a valid token is captured and reused later. Countermeasures include issuing new identifiers on login, binding tokens to client properties, using nonces, and enforcing one-time use where appropriate. For example, a login flow that always replaces the pre-auth cookie and validates a client hash thwarts fixation in practice. Freshness matters. Every important transition should leave stolen identifiers behind. In practice, privileges should be tied to fresh assurance signals rather than a one-time check at the start. High-impact actions must verify that the session still reflects the right user, device, location, and risk level. Assurance can degrade as conditions drift, so the application should recalculate risk when posture changes significantly. For instance, if a long-lived dashboard session suddenly attempts bulk export, the system can require reauthentication or step-up checks. Authority should feel earned in the moment, not granted indefinitely. The control expects privilege to track confidence and confidence to be measurable. From there, step-up authentication becomes the safety valve for risky actions and ambiguous contexts. Step-up prompts can request a second factor, a hardware key, or re-entry of a passphrase before allowing sensitive operations. Triggers include unusual locations, device posture failures, or transactions that exceed ordinary thresholds. Imagine initiating a funds transfer above a daily limit. The session pauses until the user proves more. Step-up should be fast, predictable, and clearly scoped so users understand why it appears. Used this way, it respects flow while refusing blind trust. Trust can rise on demand. Equally important, secure cookies must carry the right flags when sessions live in browsers. HTTP only prevents script access, same site curbs cross-site request forgery, and secure confines transmission to encrypted channels. These flags turn ambient web risks into managed ones by narrowing where the cookie can travel and who can touch it. For a public portal, same-site lax often balances usability with protection, while administrative consoles may enforce same-site strict. Pairing short expiration with path scoping further reduces exposure. Small flags, big effect. Cookie discipline is a first-class session control, not a footnote. Alongside cookies, token storage on rich clients requires explicit guidance to keep secrets out of hostile reach. Native apps should prefer secure platform stores, avoid writing tokens to logs, and protect memory where possible. Single-page applications should avoid local storage for powerful tokens and instead rely on secure, short-lived cookies or background token managers. Consider a mobile app that stores refresh tokens in the system key store and keeps access tokens only in memory. Clear guidance becomes a guardrail for developers, closing gaps that appear when convenience leads. Tell clients where to keep secrets, then verify. To add intelligence, detect impossible travel and behavioral anomalies that betray stolen sessions. If a user's session presents from Chicago and, minutes later, from Singapore, the system should step up or suspend. Anomalies can also include sudden shifts in device attributes, unusual API sequences, or spikes in failed authorization checks. Combining geovelocity with device fingerprints and typical action patterns gives richer signals than location alone. Automated responses should degrade gracefully, narrow scope, request assurance, or terminate if risk remains high. Watch for the unlikely. It often means the session is no longer what it claims to be. From there, invalidation must be decisive on logout, rotation, or compromise. Logging out should revoke server-side state and render client tokens useless, not merely hide a button. Rotation events, like password changes, factor resets, or key rollover, should cascade to session termination where appropriate. In a breach investigation, bulk invalidation may be necessary across an entire tenant or segment. For example, after rotating the signing key, all tokens minted with the old key can be denied. Finish cleanly. Sessions that linger after exit become footholds for later misuse. Equally, assertions, issuers, and audiences need precise logging so investigations can reconstruct who trusted whom and why. Logs should capture token IDs or hashes, issuer identifiers, audience claims, scopes, device hints, and decision reasons without dumping raw secrets. This context turns opaque denials and grants into traceable narratives auditors can follow. Imagine correlating a suspicious export to a specific assertion, client, and approval chain. Clarity speeds both containment and learning. Good logs respect privacy while preserving accountability. They explain how the system made up its mind. Aligned to that, evidence must include configurations, system logs, and sampled traces that prove policies are active. Configuration exports show token lifetimes, cookie flags, and step-up rules. Logs demonstrate enforcement in real time. Sampled traces validate that regeneration and binding occur as designed. Periodic reviews should replay canonical flows and confirm expected transitions: login, privilege elevation, logout, and emergency revocation. Evidence is not decoration. It is the backbone that connects declared intent to observed behavior, allowing independent verification. When the record matches the rule, assurance holds. In conclusion, the control's aim is durable, verifiable session integrity that keeps identity and privilege glued together under changing conditions. Sessions should reflect the current user and device, resist theft and replay, and end cleanly when trust evaporates. The techniques sound small flags, timers, rotations, prompts, but together they form a strong fabric. Build them into every application boundary and every client pattern, and attacks struggle to find loose threads. Sessions are where access truly lives. Keep them honest, and the rest of the system stands a fighting chance. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.